and welcome to this year's Think Languages event. Today, you join thousands of transition year students all around the country in a celebration of languages and culture. Agus tá súla gcuin go mhaine sibh tainmh as an ócáid aniu. So, to kick things off, we have this exciting opening ceremony. And over the next little while, we'll be meeting some incredible people who will be sharing their language journey and highlighting how foreign language skills can enrich your life. Coming up, pro dancer from Dancing with the Stars, Irvinus Merfeldas, will be telling us about his love of languages, as well as giving us an insight into Lithuanian culture. We'll be travelling to Bologna to meet content creator Clare Walsh to find out about her life living in Italy. TV fitness instructor Ray Lally will be getting us up and moving, all while learning some new languages. Clare Graham will reveal how deciding to learn Chinese has helped pave the way to working for TikTok. Plus, we'll be finding out what life is like working for the EU in Brussels with Tipperary man James Meer. Over the last few years, Think Languages has seen tens of thousands of students from hundreds of schools across Ireland take part in a range of workshops, activities and competitions, all while experiencing foreign languages and different cultures. So, here's a little taste of what you can expect.
You have got to embrace language. Language is key to us being humans of the globe. Embrace the language that you're being taught by your teachers in school. French, German, Spanish. Take them on board, because when you have a language, it's the key to opening doors.
We just did the Korean and Taekwondo workshop. Yeah, it's really good. I really liked it.
I'm doing a Spanish and Latin American drumming workshop today.
We learned about percussion instruments, different cultures. There was a bit of language. Spanish is the language we're studying in school, so it helped a lot.
Today we had our workshops. We did loads of languages such as Arabic, and I really did have a really good day today.
My favourite class was probably on Japanese because it was very interesting to learn about their culture and their language.
Today I'm teaching the Chinese language for beginners workshop.
We learned about how they structured language and the symbols. I'd like to take more Chinese languages now.
Students should have a language other than English. It opens doors, it opens the mind to different cultures, it opens the mind to other people, to a world of opportunities.
With over 38,500 followers on TikTok, Clare Walsh is an Irish girl living the Italian dream, working in marketing in the city of Bologna. None of this would have been possible without Clare stepping into the unknown and picking up Italian. She believes that there is a language for everyone. You just have to find it.
Ciao, I'm Kira. I'm from Galway in Ireland and I currently live in Bologna, Italy. So this is my home, away from home. This is Bologna and these are the two towers. One of them is actually a leaning tower and it's more leaning than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I work in marketing and on the side I do some social media as well. So every day, Monday to Friday, I go into the office and I work in a fashion company and I do the marketing for two of the brands. I love being able to work in Italian and using the language that I have learned over the last few years in a job that I'm doing today. For my social media, I am on TikTok and I love to show my life as an Irish person living in a foreign country, which will be Italy. I finally made it up the Prendi Parte Tower in Bologna and I need to tell you about this place. I have been in Italy for about 7 years now. I studied French in secondary school, and when I went into university I was so happy that I was able to study Italian. I'm really happy that I had a basis of French because without it, Italian would have been even more difficult for me. I studied Italian in NUIG in Galway, and in my third year I had to go on Erasmus. So after going on Erasmus, I just knew that this was the country for me, and it was definitely the language for me. I met so many different cultures just from my Erasmus. I felt like my mind just opened. Being able to widen your mind, explore new cultures, meeting new people, it really does help in the long term, and I think it has shaped me to be the person I am today. Io prendo un cappuccino deca di soia e lui prende un caffè normale. I think one difference between Ireland and Italy, the social life here in Italy is a lot more chill, more relaxed. Italian food is amazing. Mwah. I want to show you some typical Bolognese food. So this are tortellini, and they're like a filled pasta with like meat, and you can have it with broth, or you can have it with cream, or sometimes they have it with the ragu as well. It's so nice. Learning a language has definitely opened up a lot of doors for me, and that is one, being able to communicate with people. I have made friendships that I would have never made if I hadn't learned this language, because I do have friends here who don't speak any English, and without Italian I wouldn't be able to communicate with them. So I'm really grateful to have this language to be able to communicate with people that I really care about. And I think learning a language is honestly one of the best things anyone can do. There is a language out there for everyone. If I had to give a piece of advice to anybody who's learning a language, it would have to be, don't be afraid to make a mistake. What I have learned here, Italians love it when you try to speak in Italian. They don't even care if you make a mistake. Mistakes are to be made, because the more mistakes you make, the quicker you learn. What would be my advice for transition year students who are trying to choose their Leaving Cert subjects? Don't choose subjects based on the subjects your friends are choosing. And I know you're thinking of that, don't do it. Be as selfish as you want, because it's your life, it's your path, it's your Leaving Cert, it's your career. My favorite phrase in Italian, I'm gonna be cringy and I'm gonna be inspirational. Ce la puoi fare, which means you can do it. Because you can do it, you can learn anything you want, you can do anything you set your mind to. I am an example. You can totally do it. Ce la puoi fare.
Did you know that Brussels is one of the most diverse and multicultural cities in the world? It's a melting pot for languages and cultures, and is also home to the EU's most important institutions, including the European Parliament. Here to tell us more about what life is like living in Brussels and working for the EU is James Meer. So thanks a million for having us today, Jim, in your lovely home. You're on a flying visit. You live and work in Brussels. So what exactly do you do there?
So I'm working for the European Parliament since beginning of 2014, so nearly 10 years now. I was working originally in communications. The past 2 years now, I'm working on external policies or foreign affairs, so specifically relations between the European Union and Southeast Asia.
You have a fair few languages under your belt, first of all. How many?
Irish, English, French and German.
So you have a big interest in languages. In third year, you were named one of the best students at German, or the best student at German, is that true?
Yeah, I got, let's say, good results in my junior cert. And
the best results?
It was among the top 70 in the country, and then we got invited to do an interview in the German embassy, and I was among, I think, 5 Irish people selected to spend a month in Germany. So that was when I was 16. So this month in Germany was really what allowed me to continue with my German, and I studied German then kind of outside school for 5th and 6th year, and then I continued it to UCD afterwards. I also studied Polish for 2 semesters, which actually comes in very handy because we're lucky to have so many Polish people in Ireland now. Yeah. But the thing I really find is that the more languages you learn, the kind of easier it gets, because for example, with Irish, anyone who's in transition year will probably have heard of the Tishel Ginnedoc at this point. I had no idea what the Tishel Ginnedoc was until I started studying German, because you have it in German, the genitive. And that actually, studying German, allowed me finally to get my head around the Tishel Ginnedoc in Irish. The more languages you learn, the more, you know, it opens doors and it helps you understand even other languages in a surprising way, I find.
And we are live. Good morning on the east coast of the United States. Good afternoon here in Europe.
I wouldn't be working in Brussels at all if it wasn't for languages. To get a permanent job in the European Union, you need to have 3 languages. So for most Irish people, obviously we're very lucky we have English. Irish then can be considered your second language or even first language, but you do need a third language. And that's where for a lot of Irish people studying in school now or in transition year, where the likes of French or German or Spanish, it has to be an EU language, but there's 24 official languages in the EU, so there's plenty to choose from. The daily work of the European Parliament, there are 2 most important languages, which are English and French.
Yeah.
Basically that means that in any work meeting that we have, you're entitled to speak English or French, and people can switch, and you can ask somebody a question in French and it's totally normal to answer in English and vice versa. So it's a very interesting place to work, and I take it just completely for granted now that you get into a lift and there's people talking in one language and responding in another and mixing different languages into the one, and it's definitely interesting in that.
There's so many people with so many different backgrounds working in Brussels. It must be a really exciting place to live outside of the serious work side of it.
Brussels is brilliant. It actually is one of the most diverse cities in the world. Diversity in terms of people also means diversity in terms of languages, but also food. You can eat any type of food you can imagine.
That's very important.
In Brussels, for me, that is very important. Yeah.
What advice would you give a transition year student?
Picking a language is always a good idea because there are so many options. It opens up many different cultures. In fact, if you learn Spanish, it opens the whole continent of South America. A language like French is spoken all over Africa, for example, so it's not just inside the European Union. And learning one language then kind of opens doors to learn more. But not even only that, when you think of all the tech companies that are based in Dublin, they really have a big trouble, I think, finding people with languages, because Ireland is the headquarters for so many large companies.
You're brilliant at the German. Would you have a German phrase? I'm putting you on the spot here, but would you have a favourite German phrase?
A favourite German phrase?
Or word?
A beautiful word in German is Schmetterling, which is the German for butterfly.
Yeah.
There's so many beautiful words.
It's hard to pick.
Impossible.
Yeah. Right, it's time to get up, get moving, and maybe pick up a phrase or 2 in the process. So, I want you to stand up, come on, take a step back from your desk and make sure you have a bit of room. Are you ready? Let's get active with TV fitness instructor Ray Lally. Here's your 5-second countdown. Let's go.
Rightio, let's get up and moving and grooving. I've got to experience lots of different cultures and languages, and being able to greet someone in their own language has been so beneficial to even making new friends. So we're going to get through as many languages as we can and different exercises as quick as we can. So with that, we're going to start off with a bit of English. Feet together, bending over, and hello. 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 Next, we're speaking French. Hands on the lips, very passionately, and bonjour, 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 bonjour. We're speaking German next. So, guten Tag, guten Tag, guten Tag, guten Tag. Chinese is the next language we're speaking. So, hands on the knees, knee. Hao ma. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Ukrainian is the next language we're speaking. Feet wide. Pre. Fast feet. Vit. Pre. Vit. Pre. Vit. Pre. Vit. Pre. Vit. Italian is the next language. Ciao. 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 Japanese is the next language, so hands up. Konnichiwa. 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 Hebrew is the next language. We're just saying hello to everyone. Shalom. 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 Romanian is the next language. So playing those drums. Buna buna. Moving those shoulders. Buna buna. Buna buna. Moving those shoulders. Buna buna. Polish is the next language. I love this one. Yak, smash. Yak, smash. Yak, smash. Yak, smash. We're speaking Hindi next. Hands, na, ma. Stay. Na, ma, stay. Na, ma, stay. Hawaiian is the next language. And aloha. 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 And aloha. 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 Turkish is the next language. Hands in the heart. Marhaba. And bring it back in. Marhaba. Marhaba. We're speaking Arabic next. We're doing it on the surfboard. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We're speaking Korean next. Feet wide. Twisting. An. Young. An. Young. An. Young. Last language speaking is Lithuanian. So labas. Labas. So labas. Labas. Lovely, lovely.
TV's Dancing with the Stars pro dancer Urvinus Morfeldis is known for his skills on the dance floor. But language skills have also played a huge part in his life. I met with the man himself to find out more. So Urvinus, we're delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Could you tell us a little bit about your background in languages?
My name's Urvinus.
Yeah.
I'm a professional dancer on Dancing with the Stars, and I also teach Latin and ballroom dancing. My parents and myself were of Lithuanian heritage, so I have the Lithuanian language. The dance teacher that I had when I was growing up is actually Russian.
Yeah.
So I have the Russian language.
Okay.
And then I also did German and Irish and English in secondary school.
It's a long list.
And for the Leaving Cert.
Brilliant.
So I have a few languages under my belt.
Just a couple of them.
just a few. So English would be my main language outside of school, like talking to friends, just my teachers and everything. But the second I came home, it'd switch to Lithuanian because my parents were like huge on keeping Lithuanian because both my grandparents, like they don't have a wink of English in them, but like they're all Lithuanian. And then my parents also have like Russian friends, they have friends from Poland, they have friends from Ukraine. And since it was such like a multinational friend group, like there was always a lot of languages being thrown about and like different accents and different twangs and everything.
And do you find that having so many languages has benefited you throughout your life?
I definitely found it, the older that I got, that definitely having more languages was so helpful.
Yeah.
Like my close friend group is Lithuanian, so that was always handy. And like I used Russian when I was in Dance with the Stars, for example, because there was professional dancers from Georgia, from Ukraine as well. So like having that other language actually allowed me to communicate with them outside of just English as well. And then even when I teach at a dance school, I'm teaching like doing lessons or running classes. I even teach Ukrainian children as well, like from here and there, like, and I would teach them through a different language to help them better understand it as well. You quickly started to realize just how important it is to have the extra language, as you can just communicate with a lot more people.
Connect with people.
And connect with a lot more people, exactly.
Dancing takes a ton of discipline by the sound of things. Could you compare your kind of learning journey there with learning a language or training a language?
If you only take lessons or you only go to classes, you will see improvement, but nowhere near as much of the improvement as the time that you take in your own hands and your own accord to actually practice everything that you have learned. And I'd apply the exact same to languages.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to truly learn a language and like understand it as best as you can, you need to practice it in your spare time, practice in your free time, and just keep it constantly in the back of your mind. Once you start practicing it and trying to learn it by yourself, you start doing it in ways that you're going to enjoy. So I was like, oh, do I want to try it through music? Do I want to just like go play games online? Do I want to, because there's multiple, like there's hundreds of different types of ways that you can try and learn a language.
Would you have any advice for transition year students who are considering choosing a language for the Leaving Cert?
My advice would be do your research, because like French, German and Spanish, they're the most commonly like listed languages that you can take for your Leaving Cert. However, there's actually extra languages out there that you can do outside of school as well. Because I, for example, took Lithuanian as a Leaving Cert subject, and that as an extra subject basically, and I learned it outside of school, and that actually helped me hugely with my Leaving Cert points as well. I'll completely be honest with that. It's such a huge and added bonus, and you start to appreciate it actually the older you are, especially if you keep up with it in terms of communicating with other people, traveling abroad, and like it's always having that like sense of understanding and that sense of culture as well that you get to learn from it. So it's just an added bonus in every aspect.
Okay, so you're going to teach me a few dance moves now.
You know what, I'll happily teach you a dance move
Great.
as long as I can do it in Lithuanian.
Okay, double the challenge. Great.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go. Perfect. So, what I'm going to teach, I'm going to keep very simple, I'm going to keep very basic, is the box.
Perfect.
So,
okay, no bother.
Just for clarity's sake, just before you start hearing me speak a completely different language, right in Lithuanian is dešinė.
Dešinė.
Dešinė. Yeah.
Okay.
Left in Lithuanian is kairė.
Kairė.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then step is žingsnis.
Žingsnis.
Yeah, that was the best one.
Oh, thank you.
100%. So dešinė koja, žingsnis į priekį.
Great. Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a step forward with your dešinė leg. We're going to take a step to the left with your left leg. So kairė koja, žingsnis į kairę. Left. And now you're going to bring your right leg to your left to close. Dabar dešinė koja pristatome prie kairės. Boom. And now you're going to do the exact same, just going to go backwards. So you've now learned the slow waltz. And go.
I felt it. Thank you. So I have a job basically with you now on Dancing with the Stars, do I?
Oh yeah.
Oh perfect, yeah, one of the pros.
Oh yeah.
Our next guest never imagined that taking up Chinese would lead to a successful career working for Amazon and TikTok. Here's Clare Graham to tell us how her love of languages has helped her travel, create a career and experience new cultures.
My name is Clare Graham. I'm from Wexford. I speak Mandarin Chinese and I work in tech and marketing. I lived and worked in China for a few years, and then I also came back to Ireland and had the opportunity to work at Amazon and TikTok.
大家好，我是来自爱尔兰的 Clare， 今天都在海边来。
So I have a TikTok and an Instagram called Irish Clare, and my TikTok is mainly kind of skits or funny jokes about China or about learning a language.
身体健康。
I learned Mandarin Chinese, but the two main dialects for Chinese people are either Mandarin or Cantonese. So Mandarin is the official language in China, but if you go to somewhere like Hong Kong, most people speak Cantonese and English. I did Chinese in university. I did German in secondary school, but it didn't really gel with me. And I thought to myself that I wasn't good at languages. I realized when I started university and studied Mandarin Chinese, that was just a much better fit to me as a language. So after I graduated from university, I spent 1 year in the very south of China. After doing that, I decided to move to a bigger city just north, and then I stayed there for about 3 years. I was teaching English. I also worked in an export company, so selling products from Chinese factories to American companies and American clients. It's a really amazing country that if you get a chance to go and explore, I think you should do it. When I first started learning Chinese, I did find it really difficult. The language is completely different to anything I learned before. For example, you use the Roman alphabet for Irish and for English, whereas in Chinese, we had to learn characters, which is like a mini picture. So that was definitely a challenge for me. Some people in my class in Maynooth found it a lot easier than me, but I think it's important not to compare yourself. Everybody learns at a different pace. So as long as you're making progress, then you're doing good. When I was in China, I stopped being afraid to make mistakes. I was holding myself back because I was afraid to speak a lot in case somebody didn't understand me or in case I made mistakes. But the more comfortable I got with making mistakes and just speaking to people, the faster I improved in my language. When I got back to Ireland, I was lucky enough to get a job in Amazon. I think I definitely got my job because I was able to speak and read Mandarin Chinese. I was an investigation specialist for the Chinese market. So we were working with Chinese sellers, so that was all in Chinese. And then I think from that was also kind of how I got into TikTok as well, because they seen I had experience in a company like Amazon and I had a language as well. TikTok was a really great experience as well because I had been very interested in TikTok and the company, and I worked there for 2 years, which was amazing. Any big tech company especially, even Twitter, Facebook, any of that, they will have so many different markets. So they will look for people that can speak languages in all their markets. That could be Arabic, could be Spanish, Italian, it could be so many different languages. They want to make sure that all their users and customers in different parts of the world are taken care of, and they need multi or bilingual staff to be able to do that. There's Chinese speakers everywhere in the world, no matter where you go. So I find it really useful to be able to connect with people. If you have the opportunity to learn a new language, I would say 100% go for it. I think it can only be beneficial for you. It's okay if you don't pick it up straight away. It's okay if you're not amazing at it, because learning it bit by bit, it's fine. I think no matter what you do, it will be of benefit to you, even if you can't see that straight away. Later on in life or in some way, it will benefit you. My favorite phrase in Chinese, I think, is 入乡随俗, which means do as the Romans do. Because that's, I think, when you're learning a language, you need to just throw yourself into it. And especially if you go to a new country or there's a new culture, just do what the locals do and you'll be fine.
Well, that's the end of our opening ceremony, and hopefully we have given you a taste of what foreign language skills can do for you. From career opportunities to travel, friendships, and the many different cultural experiences languages can bring you. Help spread the word by using the hashtag #ThinkLanguages, and you can follow Languages Connect on social media for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your Think Languages event. Slán, ciao, au revoir, tschüss!